Hi, my name is Cathy, and I'm the oldest daughter of Gemma Geisman, who is the founder of the OI Foundation. I know that the year 2020 was a year that presented many challenges and difficulties for a lot of people. In our family, we celebrated milestones, we had sadness, and we also have memories that we are sharing. So this evening I am here because of one of those celebration milestones and a memory that I'd like to share with you tonight. In the months leading up to 2020, my mom was invited to share her thoughts about the 50 years of the OI Foundation. And I know that she was working on putting something together and writing down her thoughts and her feelings about all the years that the foundation has been in existence. But sadly, Mom passed away in April before she had time to send it off to the foundation and have it published. While I was going through some of her paperwork, I came across the letter that she wrote to everybody, and I thought it would be a perfect time to share it with all of you now as we launch the Gemma's Corner on the YouTube channel for the OI Foundation. That is in honor of our mom, and it's sharing her stories and her thoughts about the 50th anniversary of the foundation. So at this time, I would like to read to you Mom's letter. Dear friends, it doesn't seem possible that 50 plus years have gone by since that March day in 1968 when an article that I had written for Redbook magazine appeared on newsstands around the country and forever changed my life and that of countless others. Titled My Prison of Dreams, the article was my frank and personal story about our lonely struggle to raise our 11-year-old son Mike, who was born with numerous fractures caused by Osteogenesis imperfecta, the rare and incurable brittle bone disease that dominated our lives. The responses to the article were mixed. Some were negative and accusing, while others, mostly from parents of OI children, were uplifting and joyous. Although I chose to answer every letter I received, it was those from the other parents of children with OI that I focused on first. From this correspondence, a friendship developed with 3 other mothers who wanted to join in with me to find better medical care for our children and to locate other OI families. These mothers were Renee Gardner, Becky Keller, and Midge Peck, who with me eventually became co-founders of the OI Foundation. Driven by the knowledge that we were no longer alone, we went into action. Then, in amazement, we watched our efforts turn into mailing lists and newsletters as our hopes became real interest in learning and doing more about OI. But most exciting of all was the establishment in 1969 of the very first OI clinic at the Chicago Shriners Hospital under the direction of Dr. Edward Miller and nurse Frances Dubowski. My follow-up article, Epilogue to a Dream, appeared in Redbook magazine in March of 1970, and this time the response from every area of the country was so amazing that a small group of parents of OI children and one adult OI person gathered together at the Chicago Shriners Hospital on April 22, 1970, for an organizational meeting. At that meeting, officers were elected, and on August the 21st, 1970, the OI Foundation was duly incorporated in the state of Georgia, the home state of our new president, Roy Burdett, the father of an OI son. It was a prelude of what was yet to come, but what a busy prelude it was. How can I adequately describe what followed? For the first 10 years, trying to live a normal life with my husband Dick and our 4 children, Cathy, Mike, Cindy, and Rick, wasn't easy because I was so heavily involved in bringing everything known about OI to our growing membership, but I loved every minute of it. During that time working with Dr. Edward Miller, I developed a brochure that told in simple language the definition of Osteogenesis Imperfecta. We named our newsletter, that I wrote and edited and is still going strong 50 years later, Breakthrough. We grew our mailing list and took over the development of chapters and support groups as they sprang up around the country, and we did our first research grant. My husband Dick and I attended the OI clinics at Shriners with Mike and took part in the first OI research study there. A small group of lay people were invited to attend the first OI symposiums for researchers at Shriners. I was privileged to be among them. We gained some new people and lost others. Roy Burdett resigned as president but remained on the board, and C.C. Buck McNeely Jr., the father of an OI son, took over, and for 7 years he led us through all of the necessary business of forming a solid nonprofit organization. So many wonderful things were happening every day, and so many amazing people were coming into my life. I couldn't have been happier when, in early 1980, I was hired by the OIF Board of Directors to work for the foundation as their first part-time executive director. Then, only a few short months later, came the shattering news that our beloved son Mike, who is now 24, taking college courses, working and living independently, had died. There had been tears and dark days when news had come telling me that an OI baby or child had died, or an older OI friend had succumbed to a fall or a sudden death. But nothing could have ever prepared us for this deep personal loss. Nearly everyone I knew urged me to give up my work for the foundation, but I just couldn't give up on it. So I, with Dick's help and support, stayed for 7 more years as executive director. It was a lifesaver. When I finally resigned in 1987, the board members decided that it was time for them to open a national office. So it came to pass that one was opened in Tampa, Florida, in late 1987, with President Rosalind James and a brand new executive committee leading the challenge. Linda Phillips was hired as office manager. I served as a member of the board of directors for 30 years, from 1970 to 1981 and from 1987 to 2006, and was elected a lifetime board member in 1987 and the founding director in 2004, when I left the foundation to care for my husband Dick, who had recently been diagnosed with an incurable illness. The man who stood by my side through it all and loved the foundation as much as I did died on September the 30th, 2008. I can't even begin to tell you about all the challenges that we faced as we worked nonstop during the early years without any of the tools that exist today. The pain of loss and the joys of accomplishment were always with us. There is no way to describe it. You have to live it to know it. The OI Foundation lives on in a way that makes all of us who hold it dear appreciate the exceptional work that comes from Gaithersburg, Maryland, where Executive Director Tracy Hart and her marvelous OIF staff are now located. Thanks to them and to all who have worked so hard throughout the years to get us where we are today. They are the ones who have carried on the work that we started 50 years ago, as they continue to fund improved treatments and the realistic hope that the day of a cure becomes closer and closer. I hope you have enjoyed my mom's letter, and that you also will share your stories of your lives with OI here on Gemma's Corner. Thank you, and have a blessed 2021.